We have been lied to. We have been sold a bill of goods as it relates to love. And this is a problem because we've bought into the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. And so when we say love, a lot of times, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about this Greco-Roman myth that has at the center Cupid. And Cupid, this little cherub, shoots you with his arrow. And when he shoots you with his arrow, there is this overwhelming passion that comes upon you. And you begin to say strange things like, this thing is bigger than both of us. You have to say it just like that too, or it just doesn't work, you know. Or another one, this is one of my favorite. We don't choose who we fall in love with. Help you. And this one here, I don't understand this one, but I love it. It just sounds so cool. The heart wants what it wants. I have no idea what that means. But this is what we believe about love. And this is part of our problem. That even in church, we believe this about love. That, you know, that there's some overwhelming force will strike you. And when this overwhelming force strikes you, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to be drawn along by this overwhelming force and do what it tells you to do. And we use phrases like, follow your heart. You know what the Bible says about the heart? It's wicked and not to be trusted. The Bible says, don't follow your heart. That's the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. And so, when we believe in that myth, we've got several problems. Here's problem number one that we have with the Greco-Roman myth of romantic love. If that's what love is, if it's just this overwhelming force, and if the heart just wants what it wants, and if it's uncontrollable, and if we don't choose who we fall in love with, you know, and if this thing is bigger than both of us, if that's true, then no marriage is safe. If that's true. If that's true, think about it. I mean, what if tomorrow I sit down on an airplane and there's just a woman who sits next to me on the airplane? And it's just this beautiful woman who just wants me. That wasn't supposed to be funny. That can happen. I'm going to talk to this side of the room over here. So all of a sudden, I'm sitting there on the plane, and there's this woman there, and she's beautiful, and she wants me. And all of a sudden, Cupid strikes me. And this thing is bigger than both of us. And we don't choose who we fall in love with. And the heart wants what it wants. Do you follow me? If that's what love is, my marriage is not safe. Come to think of it, what if it happens to my wife? There could be a message on my phone right now. Baby, you probably need to stay in Atlanta. Because I met somebody, and this thing is bigger than both of us. And we don't choose who we fall in love with. And the heart wants what it wants.
You know, I think that for me, for this clip in this section, the biggest takeaway is the notion of, you know, being driven by your feelings, right?
But why is that a problem?
I mean, he did talk about why it is a problem.
But I mean, like, think about it though, right? Like, if we look at like how society is going right now, why is it an issue to have an interaction with somebody and be drawn towards them and then maybe want to build something with them? Why is that wrong?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but you got to use your brain too. That's the thing.
Bro, but the heart knows what it wants, man.
No, the heart wants what it wants, right? But you know, we see this a lot, and I think that this is one of the major problems that people get into, right? They don't think logically. They don't think with their mind a lot of the times when they're making these decisions about who they're interacting with and who they're dating, right? I mean, I'll speak from my personal experience. I went through enough, you know, I went through a few different failed relationships that, you know, when I came to my wife, well, when I met her, like, I put her through the ringer. Like, I was seeing how, she behaved around her family. I was looking at how her family was, seeing if they were crazy or not. Like, I was looking at, how she behaved whenever there was any type of conflict. Was she reasonable? Was she crazy? Like, could we talk about situations? Like, all of that. I mean, I was testing her left and right, really trying to figure out, like, okay, can I build something with this woman long term, right? Outside of her, being beautiful and attractive, like, you also got to make sure that foundation is there, because this is meant to be for a lifetime if you're dating and if you're courting properly.
Now, here's the thing, right? So for the rest of us humans, outside of what Manny did, right? If I am honest, I did not do any of that at all.
You failing, bro. You failing. What are you doing?
No,
you should have been listening to Voddie.
I did pretty good. I did pretty good with my wife. I did pretty good.
So, that was God's grace right there.
Yes, exactly. So, just to say, that is not the situation for everybody. I actually definitely recommend with what Manny said, right? Like, see how these people, right? This person is interacting with their family members. Not to say that their family shouldn't be the deterrent for you, but, if you're talking to a girl, if you're talking to a dude, and they talking a whole bunch of mess to the mama or the family and stuff like that, that should kind of like ring a bell, right?
Yeah, for the man, if she's not respectful to her parents, how in the heck do you think that she's going to be respectful towards you?
Now,
you know what I'm saying? The people that raised her, gave her life, fed her, if she is not behaving properly with them, how do you think she's going to behave with you?
Now, reverse side of that too, fellas, if you are on a whole bunch of nonsense right now, don't be going after a girl like that, man. Come on. Get yourself right first. Get yourself right.
Yeah, you gotta get yourself together, man.
But we'll touch on that a little bit later on.
but honestly, though, I see so many. I want to say kids. Like, I'm a little bit older now, with 2 children myself. But it's like, dude, like, are you even like thinking? Are you like you're already going through these conflicts like during your dating, and you're deciding to marry this person? It's like, your future is not looking too bright, my friend. And it's like, I'm not saying that you can't have conflict, right, when you're having a relationship, but are you actually able to reason, come together, and move forward? Now, here's the thing. Does God have grace on people?
Yes, he does.
Did God have grace on Adam and Eve when they sinned?
Yep.
Yeah, but they would have been better off if they listened to God in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing here. Can God have grace on situations and people? Can he change lives? Yeah, but obviously, there are warnings in the Bible for a certain reason. Perfect, simple example. Why in the heck are you dating somebody that's not Christian?
Well, here's the thing that we got to take a look at, though, Manny, right? So, like, everything that you're saying is good. I love it. But we need to take the first
I'm about
step.
to throw you out the window right
now.
Man,
you can try. Here's the first step, right? We need to work with the simple fact that what society deems normal for dating, for relationships, is not normal in the Bible. This is first and foremost, right? Like, and
let's break that down, because
all right,
let's talk about the whole dating thing. Number
right.
one, like, that's not biblical, right? There's no examples of that in the Bible. This is how we've kind of decided to do things nowadays, but there's no example of that. We can take some principles, but you're really not seeing like God recommending you dating in the Bible.
I mean, but in that case, you don't see him also saying that you don't date either.
Okay.
So,
but there's a model that you see.
No, yeah, for sure. There's definitely a model. But what I'm just trying to say is, even before entering a relationship, there needs to be, kind of like how you and I were talking about earlier this morning, there needs to be a realization of what is currently going on in your life. If you have just constantly seen people fighting all the time, whether if it's your mom with her boyfriend or your parents or whatever the case may be, just because you see that with them, that does not mean that that should be your normality. That should not be your life inside your own personal relationship. And that's where we first find a really big issue within society right now.
There's people that like love to fight for no reason. Like
yeah,
it's like
Naruto and Sasuke is a perfect example. Here you got a dude chasing after a girl that does not like him, but he has in his mind, I gotta go after her and I gotta try and get her no matter what, no matter how many times she rejects me. That's not a healthy thing to do.
For a second, I thought you were gonna talk about Naruto and Sasuke, and I'm like, I don't know, but it's a little sus.
No, Naruto and Sasuke. You get me? Like, but that's something that people do nowadays, where they're pursuing a girl. They're trying as hard as they can. I mean, we talked about a couple of lives back about a dude paying like $90,000 to talk to a girl, and he still didn't get the message. But we got guys doing that right now for free, stress in their own lives,
Yeah.
just trying to talk with a girl that does not want anything to do with them.